For the Record, proudly brought to you by
Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury. Doctor's Hospital, peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctor's Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066. And Cayman Airways, call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. Kirk Market, experience a world of choice. JN Money, from abroad to Yad. And Cineco, keeping Cayman covered.
We ask our listeners and viewers to avoid any statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use indecent language or make any statement that is false or misleading. Call 1-800-534-8255, 949-6990, 949-8037, or WhatsApp us on 925-3261.
Live from Radio Cayman Studio.
This is For the Record with ORRETT Connor.
Hear from your government officials, independents, and the opposition on issues that matter to you.
For the Record.
Engage in an open dialogue between residents and lawmakers.
With ORRETT Connor.
Informative, impartial, insightful. This is For the Record. And now, your host, ORRETT.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, O land of soft, fresh breezes and verdant trees so fair. Today is Monday, the 12th day of January 2026, right here in the beautiful Cayman Islands. We do hope and we trust that everyone had a restful, peaceful, enjoyable weekend. Those of you who are on our roads, whether you're a pedestrian, a cyclist, or if you're operating any type of motorized vehicle, please be extremely cautious. You may notice on our roads that now the traffic is starting on a weekly basis. The morning traffic is starting to increase. So it appears as if the first week of January, people were still either off island or on island and still on vacation. Now we're starting to see that morning traffic increase. So as a result of that, you need to be even more cautious on our roads. This morning, earlier, some portions of the road surface was also wet as a result of a little bit of rain. So again, you want to be extremely cautious. And remember, if you observe the rules of the road, then the life you save may just be your own. For those of you who are celebrating a birthday today, or if you've celebrated one over the past few days, we want to wish you a happy birthday or a happy belated birthday, whichever is applicable. And if you have any birthday shout-outs, please send them to us here on 925-3261, or any person who's celebrating any momentous occasion and you want to share that on air, we will be more than happy to do so as well. Those of you who have lost loved ones, again, we want to extend our sincere condolences to you. We hope and we trust that your faith will help to carry you through these extremely challenging times, and that the memories of your loved ones will be a blessing. Those of you who are ill and are either at home or at a medical facility here in the Cayman Islands, we want to wish you a speedy recovery. And again this morning, our colleague and friend here at Radio Cayman, Mr. Joel Wilson, we want to give him a big shout out this morning as well. So, folks, I want to thank you for allowing Radio Cayman, and by extension For the Record, into your homes, into your vehicles as you traverse the busy roads of the Cayman Islands, into your places of work, wherever that may be. As you know, For the Record is a show produced by the staff and management of Radio Cayman, and it is geared towards keeping you abreast of issues as they arise and play out on the local, regional, and international scene. I have the distinct pleasure, honor, and pleasure of being your host. My name is ORRETT Connor, and you're welcome to join me every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 7:30 a.m. until 10 a.m. During that period, our phone lines are open. We have a toll-free number provided courtesy of Flow. That toll-free number is 1-800-534-8255. You can also call us on 949-8037, 949-6990, and we do have that WhatsApp number, 925-3261. Not only can you send us your birthday shout-outs or any shout-outs on individual achievements, but you can also call us on that number as well. So we look forward to conversing with you this morning. We will have Dr. Steve McField back in the studio with us around about 8:15 this morning. So why don't we first look at the birthdays that we may have. We see that yesterday, Shauna Martin celebrated her birthday. Tomorrow, Maureen Connolly will celebrate a birthday. Victor Johnson will also celebrate a birthday tomorrow. Sharon M. Ebanks, also tomorrow, January 13th, and Ashley Ebanks, tomorrow, January the 13th as well. If you know someone who's celebrating a birthday or any other momentous occasion, please share that information with us right here on For the Record. Okay, Kingsley Donald's also celebrated a birthday yesterday. Kingsley Donald, Annika Jefferson, and okay. So if you know someone, please share that information with us. I think we do have one here. Blessings and a blessed morning, Mr. O.C. kindly send best birthday wishes to Miss Dana Scott, otherwise Nurse Scott. She's a wonderful, lovely person. God's blessings forever be with her. So happy birthday to Miss Dana Scott, otherwise Nurse Scott. And person didn't identify themselves as who was sending it, but I'm sure that it is someone who wants you to enjoy your birthday today. Any more? Let's see here. I think that's basically it. So we're going to also take a look at our local news today, and part of that local news in the headlines, Cayman Compass, one article, submarine collides with 110-foot yacht off Grand Cayman. It's interesting. Another article, how Cayman helped bring green sea turtles back from the brink. I'll take a look at that article, and I'll just curious to know whether or not they would have traced how we ended up having sea turtles reach the brink as well, whether or not it had to do with local consumption, whether or not it had to do with the absence of laws controlling the catching of turtle in the Cayman Islands, or the harvesting of eggs as well. Another story, contract renewed for green iguana culling program. I'm going to probably read that one first because I am sure that that will have an impact financially on those persons who do this sort of work as well. So, for some persons, especially those who are self-employed, they can do that. Or even if you're retired and you wanted to get out there and cull the green iguanas, you could do so. There are persons out there now who are extremely skilled in catching the iguanas. Many do their hunting, their culling at night, looking especially for the young ones. And normally when you go in, you ask people about them, they say, yeah, we want you to catch those young ones because those are the ones that are creating the problems. Other stories in the Cayman Campus this morning: new MRCU drones approved to fly, and of course they will be using drones in their work to control the mosquito population here in the Cayman Islands. And another story: Chamber unveils lineup for the 2026 Economic Forum. I believe I have enough time that I can share what the first story with you. Contract renewed for the culling of the green iguanas. Let's see how long it is before, I can read that. I can share that with you before we go to the news. So, it says, government has renewed a contract with a local company to continue to cull invasive green iguana in the Cayman Islands. So it's a company as opposed to individual. This is interesting. Cornwall Consulting, which was first hired to run the culling program in 2018, was awarded a new 2-year, $566,400 contract on the 1st of January. Since the program started in October of 2018, more than 1.7 million green iguanas have been killed by hunters, the Department of Environment's Deputy Director of Research and Development, Tim Austin, said. And here's another quote: "Everything looks promising for another 2 years of iguana control efforts, building on the successes so far." And that's what he told Compass TV. He added that the ultimate goal is to suppress the iguana population and eventually transition to a lower cost operation to keep the numbers down. The request for proposal for the contract noted that although numbers of the lizards have been quote unquote, severely depleted, eradicating them fully is, quote, unobtainable at present. It states that culling efforts must continue in order to further reduce the population and, more importantly, keeps the population in its current suppressed state. Under the contract, hunting teams and individual cullers, usually armed, so this is where the individual and the teamwork comes in. So under the contract, hunting teams and individual cullers, usually armed with air rifles, will continue to operate, mostly on Grand Cayman, though their services are increasingly required on Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. The bid for proposal stated. It stated that the invasive iguana were getting a quote-unquote significant increasing foothold on both of those islands, leading to a risk of hybridization with the native sister islands rock iguana. According to the request for proposal, the aim of the program is to reduce the green iguana population on Grand Cayman to about 50,000 and to eradicate them on the sister islands. In the program, cullers are paid a bounty for each iguana they deliver to a facility in the Georgetown landfill. But they haven't told us what that bounty is. I believe that article would have been more complete if you said what the bounty is. And we hope and we trust that Cornwall Consulting is a locally owned company, not a local company, because we have something called a local companies control license, which grants non-Caymanian the right to operate under a license for 12 years, I believe it is, without having any Caymanian participation. So we hope and we trust that Cornwall Consulting is a locally owned company. With that, folks, we're going to go to a commercial break. Please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
The Cayman Islands boasts of a long, colorful, and rich history. In tribute to our roots, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Historical Vignette Series, brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects. The Cayman Islands, He hath founded it upon the seas.
The Bay Islands of the northern shores of Honduras, including Utila, Rotan, and Guanaja or Panaca, along with the islets of Elaine, Barbarat, and Murat, saw a rather rapid and dramatic settlement of Caymanians following emancipation in the Cayman Islands. The most notable family to initiate the migration and settlements was the Cooper family. Joseph Cooper settled the island of Utila, and his brother was the Caymanian pioneer of the Rotan settlement, the largest of the Honduras islands. The Coopers of Rotan settled in the secure southwest tip of island named Coxon's Hole. Within a year of Cooper's arrival in Rotan, 6 more white Caymanian families followed suit, and by 1844, approximately 30 white families had migrated, encompassing over 250 persons, both white and non-white.
Information from this historical vignette was sourced from Founded Upon the Seas, A History of the Cayman Islands and Their People by Michael Creighton and the New History Committee.
Radio Cayman's Historical Vignettes was brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
Since 1993, Rotary Central has worked diligently each year to provide quality bus shelters to our community. A traveling convenience to our school children, the elderly, young people going to work, guest workers, and visitors using the public bus. We, Rotary Central, help you, our advertisers, make it happen. Your marketing dollar travels a far way. Positioning your message, your product, your services, your presence in over 83 bus shelters. Every dollar you spend, every advert you place helps to build another bus shelter, providing modest comfort for Cayman travelers. Reserve space now on the only billboard medium in the Cayman Islands. Email rotaryshelters@gmail.com. rotaryshelters@gmail.com. The Bus Shelters, a partner in community convenience. Another inspiration program by Rotary Central Cayman Islands.
She hear clunk and her car stop. I was just about to send her some money, so I send it straight to her JN Money transfer card. It cost me less, and perhaps she use the card, pay the garage right away. She'll get discount through the JN Rewards program in Jamaica. This card make things easy. You can even get funds at any multi-link ATM.
JN Money transfer card. Fast, affordable, convenient. Tell your loved ones in Jamaica about it. Sign up is free.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Babe, not tonight. You keep poking me and I need to be rested for meetings tomorrow.
What? I was almost asleep. That's the mattress spring I keep telling you about, not me. We really need to get a new mattress.
Tossing and turning, back hurting, can't sleep? It might be time to turn in your old mattress and go to bed with a new one. Browse the huge mattress showroom at Brand Source Home Gallery and pick the perfect mattress today. With mattresses to suit every budget, Brand Source Home Gallery stocks a wide selection of sizes and styles like pillow top and gel memory foam. So stop tossing and turning and sleep better tonight with a new mattress from Brand Source Home Gallery, Dawson Drive, Industrial Park.
This is For the Record.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. I'm your host, ORRETT Connor. We have about 7 minutes before we will return to the 8 o'clock news. After the 8 o'clock news, we should have in the studio with us Dr. Steve McField. We will continue our discussion. If there's any more that we have to discuss, or you may have questions or comments in relation to the creation of advisory district councils. But with Dr. McField in the studio, we can go in any direction that we wish, and he certainly is quite capable of contributing to the discussion as well. Meanwhile, let's share with you what the MRCU people are doing in relation to using drones to help in their fight to control mosquitoes here in the Cayman Islands. So the article written, I like to give credit to these authors, Simon Boxall. Simon, of course, I believe Simon, did he work with the MRCU at one point in time? Quite possible. I don't want to commit to it. But he has written this article. Simon's very good at writing. So it starts by pointing out the fact that the Mosquito Research and Control Unit has new tools with which to fight Cayman's mosquito drones. From being a novelty, the Mosquito Research and Control Unit says the technology is now operating under a tightly regulated framework and is already proving its worth in places where traditional methods of controlling mosquitoes struggle. In a press release issued on the 6th of January, stated that MRCU has spent several years preparing for the deployment of drones through training, testing, and developing pilot skills and fine-tuning operational procedures. It said that this work has culminated in a program that will allow MRCU drones to be deployed safely, legally, and with a high degree of precision. I'm going to pause there for a second because you know me, I like to interject little things in there. I hope we didn't have to, Ms. Susan, I'm not sure, you may not want to comment on this, but I hope we didn't have to import people to operate these drones, that we were able to train people locally. You know how we like to bring in experts for everything, almost everything. So hopefully not. Miss Susan is being diplomatic, like the writer said to me the other day when I asked her a question. No problem. You know, You always know when to stay in your lane. That's the important thing, right? Okay. So it says drone flights conducted under approved framework. In response to follow-up questions from Compass Media, MRCU Communications Officer Kevin Watler confirmed that unlike manned aircraft, drone operators do not require a traditional flight plan before. Drone operations, do not require a traditional flight plan before every mission. Instead, all flights are conducted under an approved operating framework with the Civil Aviation Authority of the Cayman Islands. That framework defines where drones can operate, the safety requirements that must be met, and the risk assessments and standard operating procedures that govern every mission. Watler said that, adding, and I quote, each flight is still planned, logged, and maintained, and coordination with air traffic control takes place whenever required, particularly near restricted or sensitive airspace. Watler also said drone pilots are authorized by the Civil Aviation Authority to operate only within the scope of MRCU's approved operations. This, and it's a quote here, this is not a blanket permission to fly anywhere. Every mission must fall within defined parameters with site-specific assessment and additional permissions completed when necessary. Regarding possible concerns about privacy issues, particularly involving the size of drones in built-up areas where Aedes aegypti, the species associated with disease transmission, can breed, Watler said, and I quote, while the drones are equipped with cameras, these are used strictly for operational purposes such as navigation, situational awareness, mapping, and verifying treatment coverage. And here's another quote. They are not used for surveillance of individuals, private property, or personal activities. Any imagery collected is limited to what is necessary for mosquito control and public health operations, with data handled under established internal controls and regulatory requirements. Drone flexibility and prediction. Okay, well, now, before we go there, this may have answered my little query about who we're using to operate these drones. This one, here we go. Okay. This one shows, I still messed it up to a certain extent. Let's see if we can find it. This one was actually showing two drone operators. I'm going back to it. Bear with me, folks, please. Bear with me. Okay, here we go. MRCU staff member Andre Yates left standing with Cody Cash of Leading Edge Aerial Technologies next to the application drone, which can carry up to 40 pounds of mosquito control products. So, one person, well, you don't know, you can't tell a Caymanian by their looks now, but the name, Andre Yates and Cody Cash. I'm not going to go any further with that because people will think that I'm being petty. It's just that, we have to have an interest in the employment of our own, Caymanians as well, especially when these opportunities arise. I have to abbreviate sharing this article with you because we have reached the top or the 8 o'clock hour. We're going to go to our 8 o'clock news. When we return, we should have Dr. Steve McField in the studio. Don't change that dial. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
the voice of the Cayman Islands.
89.9 FM in Grand Cayman and 93.9 FM in Cayman Brac and Little Cayman.
Silver wings shining in the sunlight.
Radio Cayman.
For today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
With your latest news, I'm Carsley Fuller. A man is heading to court today facing multiple charges after a series of Georgetown break-ins. The Royal Cayman Islands Police Service says the 37-year-old has been charged with 2 counts of burglary and 1 count of attempted burglary in relation to 3 separate incidents. On January 5th, a restaurant on North Church Street was broken into and a number of items taken. 2 days later, a man attempted to gain entry to a restaurant on Seafarers Way but was unsuccessful. And the following day, on the 8th, police say a man returned to the same restaurant, managed to get inside at this time, ransacked the establishment, and stole cash and other items. New data from Workforce Opportunities and Residency Cayman shows a slight increase in the number of local job postings for December. There were 1,576 in December 2025. That's up from 1,554 in November and significantly higher than December 2024's total of 1,073. Work says the construction, administrative and support services, and wholesale and retail trade sectors led the job postings. Most positions required just a high school diploma. Job seekers with 3 to 4 years of experience were the most sought after. High-paying job postings were prominent in financial services, legal, healthcare, education, and technology sectors. Over 19,500 jobs were listed on the work website in 2025. That's down from just under 21,200 in 2023. The 2024 figures are not available on the work website. In other news, music at the library is back. Monthly 1-hour concerts bringing live music and joy to the community, hosted by K Musica and the Cayman Islands Public Library Service.
For the second consecutive year, we are delighted to welcome outstanding guitar performances to our audiences. This time, Nathan Herrera returns with his trio for another exciting recital, joined by a very special guest, his friend Caro, one of the most accomplished flamenco guitarists in the United States, performing in the Cayman Islands for the very first time.
K Musica's Glenn Ananga tells Radio Cayman, with artists of this caliber, January is beginning to take shape as a, quote, signature month for guitar, and particularly flamenco, within the K Musica program. The show is Thursday night at 6 p.m. at Georgetown Public Library, and you can get your tickets online at eventbrite.com. Now with a check of international news, here's the BBC, which takes us out of the newscast. I'm Carsley Fuller.
BBC News with Emily Thomas. Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi has said the security forces have now brought anti-government protests under control. On Monday, it was supporters of the authorities who took to the streets, in stark contrast to the preceding days. The chairman of the US Federal Reserve says he'll remain in office despite a criminal investigation being launched by the Justice Department. Jerome Powell said the threat of charges over testimony he gave to Congress about a building project was aimed at putting pressure on the bank to lower interest rates. The first genocide case to be heard in full by the International Court of Justice in over a decade has opened. It's been brought by the Gambia against Myanmar, which is accused of targeting the Muslim Rohingya minority. Rights groups in Venezuela say the number of political prisoners who've now been released has risen to 41, following the removal of President Nicolás Maduro. Venezuela's government said it would release significant numbers after pressure from President Trump. The British government's communications regulator has launched an investigation into X over the use of its artificial intelligence tool Grok to create sexualized images. The platform's owner, Elon Musk, has called the controversy an excuse for censorship. Reports from Mali say suspected jihadist fighters have attacked factories and kidnapped workers in the west of the country. Local sources say 2 groups of militants set fire to the facilities. The comedy film One Battle After Another was the big winner at the Golden Globes Awards in Los Angeles. It took 4 prizes, including Best Screenplay. Officials in Zimbabwe say the number of people killed by wild animals in the country rose by about a quarter last year to more than 60. The loss of habitats driving animals closer to human settlements has been blamed. BBC News.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman with the latest up-to-date, accurate news and information. For your convenience, the headline news will be repeated on our sister station, Breeze 105.3 FM, weekdays at 8:30 a.m. Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or download the Radio Cayman app in the App Store or log on to www.radiocayman.gov.ky and stay connected to what's happening in the community. Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio.
My mom's a superhero. She always knows what to do when I feel icky. Yesterday, we went to West Bay Pharmacy, and they had everything she needed. Medicine, my favorite band-aids with dinosaurs, and even flavored vitamins. Mom says they keep our family healthy. I think they're magic. But don't tell anyone. I think superhero shop at West Bay Pharmacy. West Bay Pharmacy, where the superheroes shop. West Bay Pharmacy and Centennial Towers. Convenient quality care is just around the corner.
RC Fusion is proudly brought to you by TCE Paint Shop, Farmers and Artisans Retail Market, and My Canda Cleaners. RC Fusion, weekdays 10 a.m. to 12 midday, right here on Radio Cayman 89.9.
RC Fusion.
Radio Cayman Energy.
Craving something bold, juicy, and packed with flavor? Introducing KFC's new crispy barbecue sandwich served on a soft, buttery brioche bun. That's 100% KFC premium chicken breast, perfectly crispy, deliciously smoky with crispy onions, cheddar cheese, and barbecue sauce. Just the right amount of messy in the best way possible. Stacked with layers of bold KFC flavor, this sandwich is your new obsession. But hurry, it's only at KFC for a limited time. So what are you waiting for? Get yours today at any of the 3 KFC locations on island. KFC, finger licking good, just got bolder.
Radio Cayman, maintaining the innovation.
On a daily basis, making it easy to connect with you, our listeners. Add us to WhatsApp today, 925-3261. That's 925-3261.
Radio Cayman.
Send a text or voice note.
Message us at 925-3261 on WhatsApp today and get active with Radio Cayman.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
Radio Cayman, maintaining the innovation.
Pleasant good morning. Let's take a look at the latest weather report. Current temperature is 78 degrees. Relative humidity is 79%. The barometric pressure 30.02 inches and falling. The wind is out of the north-northeast at 10 knots. Overnight low temperature was 76 degrees. Synopsis indicate isolated showers are expected across the Cayman Islands today as a surface trough moves across the northwest Caribbean. Moderate northeasterly winds and seas are expected through Tuesday, becoming light and variable thereafter. Satellite imagery show scattered layered clouds across the northwest Caribbean. Now the forecast for today calling for partly cloudy skies, becoming cloudy at times with a 60% chance of morning showers, especially over Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. Temperatures today will be in the mid-80s. Winds will be northeast at 10 to 15 knots. Seas slight to moderate with wave heights of 2 to 4 feet. Forecast for tonight calling for partly cloudy skies with cloudy spells and a 40% chance of showers. Temperatures falling to the mid-70s tonight. Your winds will be east to northeast at 5 to 10 knots. And seas will be slight to moderate with wave heights of 2 to 4 feet. Low tide will be this afternoon at 1:18, high tide this evening at 5:44. The sun will set this evening at 5 minutes past 6 and will rise tomorrow morning at 2 minutes after 7. And the outlook is calling for light and variable winds and seas through Wednesday as a cold front approaches the northwest Caribbean. And that's very latest on your weather report.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
Top of the morning, let's check in with traffic, see what's happening on our roads. Further up on Shamrock Road, traffic is flowing at a moderate pace. Further down, a different story as traffic is bumper to bumper as you approach the Linford Pearson Highway. Slight delays expected.
Also on Crew Road, traffic is steady, and steady traffic coming off of Bobby Thompson Way and Agnes Way. As we look to downtown Georgetown, flowing nicely on Edward Street and into Georgetown on Shedno, looking pretty good as well. Owen Roberts Drive, light to moderate traffic flow, and traffic is light coming from the West Bay 4-way stop. On the Esley Tibbetts Highway, traffic is flowing at a moderate pace and continuing on to the Industrial Park area. North Sound Road, traffic moving at a moderate pace in both directions. Huldah Avenue, steady traffic. Have you seen accidents? Let us know by calling us at 949-6990. Join us again at about 10 minutes past 12. We'll give you another look at traffic. Have a good morning and drive safe.
Did you know ordering your favorite sandwich from Subway just got easier? Yeah, picture this. No more waiting in line. No more fussing with cash. Just a delicious taste of Subway at your fingertips. With our new app, ordering your go-to sub is as easy as a few taps on your phone. Plus, receive exclusive deals and earn loyalty points with every purchase made on the app. Download the new Subway app today and get ready to ditch the lines and drive straight into your flavor. Visit the App Store or Google Play Store on your mobile phone and search for Subway Cayman Islands. Subway. Eat fresh.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway. If you're riding an e-bike or scooter, the rules of the road apply. These devices are treated the same as motor vehicles. You must be at least 17 years old, hold a valid Category 0 or Category 2 driver's license, and your device must be registered, licensed, and insured. You must obey traffic signals, road signs, and road markings, and operate only where permitted by law. These are existing legal requirements. Enforcement begins 16 January.
For details, contact DVDL at www.dvdl.gov.ky.
For the Record with ORRETT Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. Dr. McField hasn't arrived yet, but not to worry. He is quite reliable, like many Caymanians are, even though I must say that our attitudes and the way that we conduct ourselves in business in the Cayman Islands has changed considerably. Older folks still believe that, a handshake, you don't need a written contract in some instances, that a handshake is sufficient, but we cannot be too gullible these days and believe that that works for everyone, even in Caymanian to Caymanian transactions. That may not work, as well. But, for those, of us who have come up through the ranks and through the years, our word is, still our bond, and we can operate on that basis as well. Looking for some... Okay, yeah, I think this one is important, and this will bring us into the whole area of traffic, because we need to concentrate and place more emphasis on this whole traffic and driving situation. So we see here that the Royal Cayman Islands Police Service on the 11th of January issued a press release in relation to their investigation of a hit and run of a cyclist on Rex Crichton Boulevard on the 11th of January. And you would have heard this in our Radio Cayman news as well. And it states that at about 6:20 a.m. on Saturday, the 10th of January, officers responded to the report of a collision involving a pedal cyclist and a white vehicle on Rex Crichton Boulevard in the vicinity of Chime Street. It was reported that the vehicle and cyclist collided while on the roundabout, and the vehicle continued driving and left the scene. EMS attended the location and attended to the cyclist who had been struck from the bicycle during the collision. He was later transported to the hospital for treatment for what appears to be non-life-threatening injuries. Matter is currently under investigation, and police are appealing for anyone who may have witnessed it or seen a white vehicle traveling in the area at the time of the collision. And of course, if you have any details on it, you can contact 649-6254. It says also that the make and model of the vehicle is not known at this time. Of course, if you want to provide anonymous tips, if you want to provide anonymous tips, you can do so as well. Okay, drinking down a little bit of ginger and garlic tea there to help me along as well. So anonymous tips can be provided directly to the Royal Cayman Islands Police Service via their confidential tip line at 949-7777 or via their website as well. So this occurred on a roundabout, as opposed to, doesn't appear as if, because of course you know the roundabouts themselves don't have bike lanes. So cyclists basically have to have more interaction with vehicles in a roundabout as opposed to the stretch, because we do know that the east-west arterial Rex Crichton Boulevard does have cycling lanes as well. And we want to wish speedy recovery to the cyclist as well. We know the person, don't have permission to mention their name, but want to wish them a speedy recovery. I know the individual, and I know that cyclist does observe the rules of the road, is extremely cautious as well. That person promotes safe cycling on our roads. With that, we have been joined by Dr. McField. Doc, I was telling our audience that, we know that you would be here. That whole adage that Caymanians employed, that my word is my bond. Yes. It still holds true for many of us. Yeah. So I had no doubt whatsoever, that you would be here. But the days of, you agreeing to something and that handshake was enough. Does that still exist today?
With some Caymanians, yeah. Your word is your bond, and your handshake is the confirmation of your contract. That's all you needed. Sometimes I watch TV. I watch some of these shows, and people are before some judges. And the judges are saying, well, your contract says this, and then you made an agreement outside of your contract orally. That doesn't count, because you should have considered that and put it into your contract. And the contract is the document that actually conforms what the agreement is. But that doesn't hold well. That didn't hold well in the old days in Cayman. You could go and you can say, something, I just forgot this, and so forth. I forgot this window in the west side of my house, and maybe you could put it in for me, and they would be glad to. They would be glad to put it in without any extra expense, and they would not say, "Well, I'm not doing that because that was not in the contract." So it still holds true for some people. I think most of them from my generation, your generation, mostly. But mostly it doesn't hold true. Mostly is what you can is what they can extract from you now is the norm, and greed is the outcome. So I'm a late getting here, 10:15. But if I wasn't coming here, I would have notified you to say,
Yep.
I'm not able to come today. So I wouldn't have you waiting like some people. They'll not show up and they will not call to say, I'm sorry. And then they will just, wave it off as if nothing happened. There's no formation. There's no truth to what they say. And we are not from that old school. I was in court today, a couple of days ago, and one of the judges says to my client, the client is having some difficulties understanding the law, and the judge says to my client, you're lucky to have McField as your lawyer because he's one of the best lawyers in Cayman, and he's from the old school.
Yeah.
He's from the old school, and he addresses the court properly. And I'm trying to tell my client, ease off. He's going there, blah blah blah, and I'm trying to say, ease off for a minute, So I am so happy that not only you recognizes that, but other people recognizes that too. So, yeah, so it's good to be here. I like to be on the radio. I wish
and our listeners, they love to hear you on the radio as well.
Yeah.
They love to hear you on there. Radio Cayman. We're into this age now where on social media and Facebook, how many likes you get, how many views you get. That is how success is measured, and because that success also is tied to financial rewards from these various establishments, in relation to the number of views that you get. But Radio Cayman, while we're concerned about our listenership, it is quality that we're looking for, and if quantity comes with the quality, fine. But we have a traditional base out there, a very faithful base out there that we cater to, and a lot of people just don't understand that.
Yeah, I guess it's legitimate to say that Radio Cayman is a brand. Radio Cayman is the brand. It's not just out any other radio station where you come in and you play music and you say a few words and you advertise a few things for people and you get paid and you walk away. Radio Cayman is a government institution. It's for learning. It's for edification. It's for advice. It's for everything in the community, and it's a brand. It's not like every other radio station where you're getting 500 people listening to Bob Marley or something like that. It's a brand, and I think it's the same thing like Cayman Airways. When I try to tell people, they say, "Well, why don't they sell it? It's losing money." It brings us people, customers. It brings us service. We pay for that service. We don't have to depend on other people to provide that service for us. And that's the price that you pay to be independent of other people. The same thing as Radio Cayman is a brand. It belongs to the people. And unfortunately for Radio Cayman, the standard that is set is very high. It's not going to get down in the gutters with just a news story, just to be breaking a news story about something or other people. And I'm glad that that you are keeping Radio Cayman as a brand different from other radio station. Otherwise, I tell you, I wouldn't come on to the radio station if it was just mediocre like any other radio station.
Yes.
It wouldn't attract me at all.
Yes. This person says, good morning. I'm just tuning in. Please wish the Honorable Dr. Steve McField a happy birthday. May he be blessed with many more wonderful. Enjoy your special day. Thank you for all the contributions you have made to all of the people of the islands. Wish you many more wonderful years. Initially, they had tears. They said no years. They were in a hurry. They also said, Mr. Connor, would Dr. McField please give us a brief information on the secret of your longevity?
I think I forgot today was my birthday. I didn't even remember that. I tell you.
Happy birthday to you, Doc. Happy birthday.
Thank you very much. I don't look at years.
Exactly.
And age. I go from day to day. And the secret of is living well. Always keep your mind sharp, reading, researching, always be informative, and always keep in good health and a good diet. That is the most important thing. A lot of us have moved away from the old days when we had a diet that we eat outside the supermarkets. We never had any supermarkets. We didn't have any fridge to keep stuff in for weeks and weeks and weeks. I still live that way a little bit. I have my own chickens. I have my own eggs. I have my own broilers and layers. I rather eat the chickens that I raise instead of those from the store where they put a lot of hormones in it. I don't have any sugar in my diet. If I go someplace and they give me a piece of cake or something, I'll eat it. But believe me, when I get home, I'm so angry with myself. I don't have any salt in my diet.
Okay.
And I don't drink any alcohol, and I don't smoke.
Now, as far as longevity in your family, does it run in the family as well?
Yes, my family live very long. My great grandmother lived to 106.
Ooh.
In the last couple of years of her life, she was blind. My grandmother, I think, lived into the 90s. My grandfather also, and my aunts all in 96 and 98. And then there's some family in Bodden Town that lived to be over 100, and most of the men in my family died younger than I did.
Okay.
And that was because of alcohol. Most of my uncles drank a lot of alcohol daily. I mean, I remember one uncle used to drink like 2 bottles of vodka a day. And I noticed that they had youthful appearances when they died, but then their organs were gone. And I decided that would not happen to me. And then I do a lot of exercise. Exercise. I have a gym at home. I used to go to the gym a lot, and then sometimes you have to wait for the machines.
Yeah.
And so I threw my cars outside of the garage and made the garage into a gym. I have all the machines there, and I use them, and I keep healthy, and so I don't feel any difference in my age. I mean, I can feel I'm getting slower now than physical than what I was before.
But that's natural.
That's natural, but mentally, I'm still the same.
Excellent. We're going to go to a commercial break. When we return, we're going to talk a little bit more, about, how you keep yourself so healthy. I want to talk about the size of meals that you eat as well. As you start to get older, you find that the amount that you consume is less, as well. And also want to talk about how much time you spend outdoors. We know that you're still active. You're still in your, you have your law practice and everything, and you do attend court. I'm sure that little walk from your office to the court helps us a lot. We're going to be talking more about health, Dr. McField's youthfulness this morning. Before we get into the weeds, we're going to talk about that. Please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
Did you know that you can send money transfers to financial institutions anywhere in Jamaica with JN Money?
You mean I can send money straight to my account and cut out the middleman?
Yes, that's exactly what I mean. You send your own money to your own account, giving you peace of mind that the money is in your account.
JN Money Transfers to Financial Institution is another convenient service offered by JN Money. You can have this done from any JN Money location. Deposit your money straight to your account without the hassle of asking someone to do it for you. JN Money Transfers to Financial Institutions, making life easier.
Hey, new drivers, don't just drive, drive smart. Cynical and Inspire Cayman's Safe Driver program will show you how. Get real-life simulator training and classroom sessions to help you gain experience, stay alert, and avoid accidents. Learn to recognize risk, manage fatigue, and make smart choices behind the wheel. Certified participants may even pay less for Cynical motor insurance. Learn more and register at cynical.ky. Cynical, keeping Cayman covered.
My mom's a superhero. She always knows what to do when I feel icky. Yesterday, we went to West Bay Pharmacy, and they had everything she needed. Medicine, my favorite band-aids with dinosaurs, and even flavored vitamins. Mom says they keep our family healthy. I think they're magic. But don't tell anyone. I think superhero shop at West Bay Pharmacy. West Bay Pharmacy, where the superhero shop. West Bay Pharmacy and Centennial Towers. Convenient quality care is just around the corner.
At Kirk's Home Center, we can make your life much better. We got it all together. We got a great deal in store for you. From cookware to stereos, from power tools to plumbing supplies. Yeah, we got the best goods with the best price and a service to make you smile. Kirk's Home Center, we got a great deal in store for you.
This is For the Record.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. My pleasure to have in the studio with me this morning the birthday man, Dr. Steve McField, right here in the studio. This person has written and said, good morning, Mr. Connor and Mr. McField. Happy birthday to Mr. McField. May God continue to bless you and protect you always with many more happy years to come. Enjoy your special day birthday wishes coming from Mary McLean. Thank you, Miss Mary McLean, for that as well. Let's go to our phone lines. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Mr. Moderator.
Good morning. Good morning. How are you? I didn't hear your voice yesterday morning crossing your house.
No, I didn't see you. I missed you, actually. That was not intentional.
That's unusual.
That is so true. And good morning to the Honorable, I would say, Dr. McField.
Good morning to you, ma'am.
And this is Joel from Northside, actually. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you. Happy birthday. Thank you for my rendering me happy birthday. I didn't remember it was my birthday today at all. Maybe I wouldn't have. If I had remembered, maybe I wouldn't have been on the radio. Yeah.
To be around and to do the honors because, we are so delighted when you're on there. So it's really, really a blessing for you to be around to do the honors. And I know you will be here for many more years, if I have to say so.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Miss Jewel, for that as well. So, Doc, I find, and I'll be 75 next month, so I'm, way behind you still. But I find that even with those things that I like, either, my body is reacting, or I think psychologically it has something to do as well, that I find myself wanting to eat less, not those large amounts. When I was younger, I wanted to have my plate full.
Yes.
But do you find that you eat smaller amounts, even if you may eat more frequently, but it's in smaller portions?
Yeah, small, because you see, as you grow older, your energy start to lessen. So if you keep eating those huge meals, what will happen to you? You'll become overweight. And then you'll start having, results in all of those things that happen from overweight persons, diabetes, hypertension, and all those things. So what I do in the morning when I get up, the first thing I do in the morning, I get up, I have a glass of warm water, not cold water, a glass of warm water. That's the first thing to wake up my arteries and my system, my digestive system. And then I'll have breakfast. I'll have probably a cereal, and then I'll have a couple of eggs and toast. And then for a lunch, I'll have a lot of salads, and of course I don't eat red meat. I don't eat red meat. I don't eat any blood meat. I only eat chicken and fish, and I'll also maybe have a small portion of fish or chicken. And then around 5 o'clock in the evening, I'll have another meal. And I don't eat after 5 o'clock at all. I don't eat after 5 o'clock at all.
Even though you're up till late at night, so
yes,
like 11 o'clock at night?
I don't eat after 5 o'clock because it gives the body chance to rest, to digest the food, and then it gives the body a chance to rest and regenerate for the balance of the life. Because the more you eat, it's the more your kidneys, the more your liver, the more all of those. Your stomach has to be functioning all the time, and that is not good for you.
Okay, two more things. We want to talk about spending time outdoors, and we know that you have a large compound out there, and you mentioned that you raise much of the things that you eat as well.
Yes.
Checkups, medical checkups. How often?
Every
important?
half a year.
Okay.
Every half a year I get a blood work done. Every half a year I get a blood work done. I go July and January, and get my blood work done twice a year.
And the outdoors?
Outdoors, I don't spend a lot of time outdoors now like I used to, because I have somebody who works in the outdoors now. But I have birds, and I had ducks and geese and chickens and all of those things, and lots of fruit trees. And I used to go out there pruning and doing things and walking in the backyard and making sure. But I still do all of those things. Of course, I used to play tennis by myself because I have a tennis court that I built long time ago, and I have a tennis ball machine.
Okay.
You put the balls in, and it shoots them out.
Yep.
And then when you shoot some, maybe 100 or 150, you can go, and you have a ball hopper. You pick them up and you put them in. But I don't do that a lot now anymore because I'm working later. I'm working longer now, and when I get home, it's late, and I don't have the light. I don't have any lights.
Okay, outdoors. Yeah.
So and then on the weekends, I spend a lot of time writing and researching. You would not believe the time I put in. Sometimes
I was going to ask you about that, whether or not you do your own research and stuff.
Yes.
I know for things that you're working on, but even for court and stuff, because we see, for instance, the lawyer who Nicolas Maduro appeared in front of, 92 years old and still on the bench.
That's right. That's right
as well.
And of course, I as chair of the Immigration Appeals Tribunal. I get all of the bundles.
Okay.
At least 4 days ahead, and I go through them. So when I go through the bundles, when the tribunal meets, I'm familiar with the case law, with the cases and the case law.
Okay, I believe we do have a caller, and we also want to send out belated birthday greetings to Nicholas Watson. So happy belated birthday to Nicholas Watson. Let's go to our phone lines. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, O.C.
Hey, good morning, good morning. How are you?
Happy New Year, man.
Thanks. Happy New Year to you as well.
Well, mentally, I'm happy, but physically, I'm not doing well this morning. I can't believe the flow. Start off this new year, O.C. I'm downtown. I can't find no credit to buy. I wonder how long. If I should live to see 12 months go through again, that we gonna have to go through this kind of thing with this company. Hello?
Yes, I'm listening.
Yeah, man, because ever since they changed our name to Flow, this thing stopped flowing, man.
or flowing like molasses, huh?
Yes.
Yeah, man, you can't get no credit to buy balls.
Wow. Now, normally, how do you go about? Because I don't have a prepaid service. I have postpaid. How do you go about purchasing? You have to go physically, or can you do it, directly from your phone?
No, I'm not that. I don't have that really knowledge of the phone, So I buy from Booster all the time, man.
Oh, okay.
I don't think
Booster up on Smith Road,
I don't think you can do that anymore. I think now you have to go to Flow, and you have to enter into an application into a computer, and then you have to stand in line, and then they call you, and then you go through the formalities there. Because when you ordinarily buy the credit, the service provider do not know who owns the number that you are calling from. Now you have to go, and that number has to be registered with Flow, so that every time you make a call, now they know that you're calling from your phone. Before, I could just go and buy a number from some gas station or something, and then put some time on it, and then I would be calling Jamaica or someplace, but nobody know who owns that number. That has changed now. You have
because of regulations.
It's the regulations now,
yeah.
And you have to go to Flows on West Bay Road, and then you have to you have to register in the computer, and then you have to pay, and they give you the number, or they register your number so that you know. But so you just cannot go now and buy the time from all of these places anymore.
Caller, you hearing that?
Dr. C, I have a Flow chip in my phone. I have a Flow chip.
You have
my phone. You must know the number that's calling, but I can't call nobody now.
Well, the chip that you got in your phone, where did you get it from?
I bought that from the same place down on the waterfront with Norberg. Used to have the bakery down there.
Well, that's what I'm telling you now. Though they have changed that now. Yet that you have now to go and get that registered with Flow at their customer service office in the Galleria Plaza. That's where you need to go.
Okay. Thanks for the information.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Happy New Year to you, Mr. Steve.
Okay. Happy New Year to you too, my friend.
All right.
Okay. Doc, a very distinguished person in the BRAC asked me to wish you a happy birthday as well. I'll tell you off air who it was because I don't have permission to use their name on air, but I must say it is a very distinguished person in the BRAC that is wishing you a happy birthday as well. Commercial break, folks. Please stay tuned for the record with Dr. Steve McField. Celebrating his birthday today will continue after this short commercial break.
Can you imagine your home completely organized? At Brand Source Custom Closets, we can. We specialize in designing and building custom closets and storage units for any room in your home, including the garage. With tailored designs and custom LED lighting solutions to fit your lifestyle and budget, our custom closets expert is committed to enhancing the value of your home with a solution that is uniquely yours. Visit our showroom or call 623-6774 to schedule a no-obligation appointment with our design expert. Brand Source Custom Closets, 209 Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park.
Accidents and illnesses can strike without warning. Ouch! When it comes to urgent care, every second counts. At Doctors Hospital, we have a dedicated team of experienced doctors and nursing staff available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't waste time in an overcrowded emergency room when you need urgent care. Whether it's a broken bone, a severe infection, or a sudden illness, trust in Doctors Hospital's unwavering dedication to providing the best immediate care. For complete urgent care when you need it the most, choose Doctors Hospital, located in Georgetown, 16 Middle Road.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
For the record, with ORRETT Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. My pleasure to have in the studio with me this morning none other than Dr. McField, who is also celebrating his birthday today. Before I continue the conversation with him, we have been asked to send out birthday greetings to Elijah Dilbert, who is 12 years old today. Elijah Dilbert, 12 years old today. His grandmother is Miss Jenadelle Miles, and greetings going out to Elijah Dilbert from all of his family as well. So, okay, I'm told, yes, while I did tell you who that
yes,
distinguished person in the BRAC was, I now have permission to say this, the Honorable Juliana O'Connor Connolly sent happy birthday greetings to you this morning as well.
And thank you, Madam. I was just asking Mrs. Watson here in the studio if you were thinking about retiring, and she says no. And I says I am happy that is what your position is, because that would not be good for Cayman. If you went away, just went away today, because as I see it, we are in a position where we are all passing either by transition or by retirement, and then there's no one to step in the shoes to carry on. And Ma'am, I wish you all the best for 2026, and may God continue to bless you. And I miss talking to you. I would always come up to your office up there in the 5th floor and have a conversation. And sometimes it was only 5 minutes, and sometimes it would be in a couple of hours.
Okay. Now, Doc, she like you,
yes,
have contributed, enormously to the Cayman Islands, and in her case, to Cayman BRAC as well. And when you sort of like chart and compare the two of you, she started out, she was an athlete as well, and then went into teaching physical education. You were known for your athletic prowess on the cricket field,
yes,
as well. she ended up joining the legal fraternity. You are in the legal fraternity, as well. So you have so many things, in common with her. Of course, she's, much younger than you are, as well. But I want you to talk and to share with our listening audience. I can't say viewing yet, right, Miss Susan, because we're still not in our new studio. But soon enough, I'll be able to share with our listening and our viewing audience. But in this case, our listening audience, how your life has progressed. I know in the past you have spoken about Miss Leela Ross Shire when she was the librarian, and how she said she observed you and was able to detect your ability to remember and to learn, and how she encouraged you to read more. And then we know the stories, about scouting and camping, and Teacher McField when you only shared what it was supposed to take 2 cans of milk, and you shared what gave one, and you kept the other one, and you were caught, and all of those things. Your time in Jamaica. Share with our listeners your life story.
Well, morning. I met Miss Julie many years ago. A lot of people don't know. I think in the 80s, in the early 80s, I was the franchise holder for Miss World and Miss Universe. Okay. I had the franchises from 1983, 1984, 1985, 1986. 4 years I promoted the Miss Kim and Beauty pageant, the Miss World and Miss Universe. Miss Julie was one of the contestants from the BRAC. In those years. In those years, we would have district contests. We would have Miss Kim on BRAC, Miss East End, Miss Northside, Miss West Bay, Miss Georgetown, and then they all would qualify to enter the contest for Miss Kim Ann. The last show that I put on was at Pageant Beach, where that hotel is going up now. That was in 1986. And a girl from Northside won and went to Miss World. And and she went to Miss World and Miss Universe. And Miss Julie was one of the contestants there. So, Mr. For the record, I guess I was always a homey boy. Whenever I went anywhere and I saw books, I would pick the books up and start reading them and so forth. And people thought that was really odd, because a lot of people in those days, in the 1950s, 1940s and 50s, were developing their sons, their boys, to go to sea. That was the thing that I was going to go to sea and help the family. To send back my allotment to help the family with their with developing with raising the other children, but I was not interested in that. I started at your mother's school, Miss Myrtle's school. I started there in the all one classrooms, from grade 1 to from standard 1 to standard 6. A lot of the
because there was no other school to graduate to, these days where you come from primary and you go to, it was all in the same school.
All in the same school. The Bawdens were there, and I remember the families were there, all of the white and black children were there. And then when the Seventh-day Adventist school started, I went to the Seventh-day Adventist Mission School.
Okay.
That was on the premises where Butterfield House is now. And the teachers came from
church in the front and the wooden building in the back on the stilts.
Yes, and the teachers came from the United States and from Jamaica.
Yeah.
Well, the library was right around the corner. The Presbyterian school hasn't started yet. The Presbyterian school started in the old base after the Americans left in 1945, they took that property over in that where the Presbyterian school, which became the high school, which became John Gray. I would go to the old library and I would sit and I would take out books. Sometimes take out 2 and 3 books for the week. And the librarian, Miss Leela Ross McTaggartshire, she noticed me, and I remember one time she says to me, "You haven't brought the book back?" And I said, "No, I'm still reading it." And then when I came back to the Broadway Library, she says to me, "What was the story about?" And I was relating the story to her. And then she says to me, "Son, you got a good memory, you know." She says, "Sonny, you got a good memory. You ought to do something about it." Well, I never thought that was important at all. But then when I start getting 12, 13 years old, I start reading all the classics, Tale of Two Cities, Ivanhoe, Hemingway's, all of those things. Emerson, I would start reading
Ralph Waldo Emerson.
All of those things. And then when I got around 14, 15 years old, then I was in a Cubs too. I was in a Cubs. I always liked to be dressed and to be sharp. And I know that those things, you have to keep your uniform sharp and your shoes clean and stuff. Miss Frances Borden and Miss Noel Johnson were my Scoutmasters, and Miss Joy Hilton. And then I got invested into the Scouts. I remember the evening I got invested into the Scouts. I went into the Scouts with Teacher McField, and Warner Bernard was the assistant Scoutmaster, and Louis Ebanks. And I went into the Scouts, and that really propelled me into learning more about discipline. My book that I carried around with me was Scouting for Boys.
Okay.
I used to read that from beginning to the end. I knew what was on every page of that book. They would say to me, "Well, ask McField what page he's on. He probably know." I was in the Scouts, and I kept reading and reading and reading, and the Scout was sort of my refuge away from home. Niels Godfrey will tell you. I think he tells this story about. I was a patrol leader for the Swan Patrol, and we would go camping at Pageant Beach and down to the old bathhouse.
Bathhouse, yes.
And we would go camping all about up at Spots and East End and those places. And we went to Boy Scout Jamboree in Jamaica and so forth. And Niels will tell you, but one thing that I would have, I would get about asthma immediately. Sometimes it would come on undetected, and I remember.
And you eventually grew out of it
after I left the island. They never came back to me.
Wow.
Niels will tell you, Teacher McField used to leave me in charge of the camp, and Niels will tell you that at one time when Teacher McField left me in charge of the camp, I marched them up and down. I had them drilling up and down, and Niels say, "You remember, Steve, the asthma took you, and you had to hold up on a grape tree, and you couldn't march us anymore." yeah. But then to cut the story short, I didn't go to sea like everybody else, and Miss Lena McTaggart-Rothshire and all of those, and Miss Carby, and my teacher from the United States, Mrs. Crowfoot, was always saying to my mother and family, "The boy needs to have more support in education. He wants to get more education." And people said to me, "What are you going to need that for? Everybody's going out to sea. You need to go out to sea." And then I met Dr. Marsh from Jamaica, who taught me how to bowl and how to bowl in swingers and out swingers and so forth. And I was always telling him I want to go to Jamaica to do an education. I tried to go into dental technical school, and I didn't have the £3.10 for term those days. I couldn't have that, couldn't pay. And so he says to me, son, you're going to have to do like what everybody else do. I say, what's that? And say, you're going to have to go to sea and save your money and then pay your own way. Then nobody's going to help you here. Because I keep writing, asking for scholarships. I would go down on the dock and see all of those boys coming off from the Caymania in the summertime with their blazers on, like the one I have on now, and with KC and JC and Bullmore's Boys School and Knox College and all those things. And I say, one of those days I'm going to wear one of those jackets too. To make a long story short, I went to sea. The first trip I made, I spent a year from January to end of the first week in December. They sold the ship. They sent us all home. We all home for Christmas, and then they called us back to work in February again the next year.
I got to interrupt you right there, Doc, so we can go to our headline news at the top of the 9 o'clock hour. Please, folks, please stay tuned. Don't change that dial. You're hearing some history here this morning, and I'm doing this deliberately now because, this is something that we want to preserve right here at Radio Cayman as well. Folks, please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines. Local, regional, international news.
The Headline News is brought to you by Kirk Market and Health Services Authority.
The police say a 37-year-old has been charged with 2 counts of burglary and 1 count of attempted burglary in relation to 3 incidents. On January 5th, the restaurant on North Church Street was broken into and items taken. Then on January 8th, police say another restaurant was targeted and a suspect got inside, ransacked the establishment, and stole cash and other items. In international news, in Tehran, the U.S.-based rights group Harana says nearly 500 protesters have been killed since protests began in late December. They include a football referee and a fashion student. On Sunday, President Donald Trump warned the U.S. is considering, quote, very strong options to intervene in the country. Iran's foreign minister responded by saying his country is, quote, prepared for war, but does not seek it. Meanwhile, Iran remains under a days-long internet blackout, making it difficult to get information. And federal prosecutors have opened a criminal investigation into Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell. In a highly unusual move, Powell disclosed that the U.S. Department of Justice served the agency with subpoenas and threatened a criminal indictment over testimony he gave to a Senate committee about renovations to Federal Reserve buildings. Calling the probe, quote, unprecedented, Powell said he believed it was opened due to Donald Trump's anger over the Fed's refusal to cut the interest rates, despite repeated public pressure from the president. Trump said he did not, quote, know anything about the investigation. The DOJ has been contacted for comment. Those are your headlines. I'm Kirsley Fuller.
Radio Cayman. More news available at www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
At HSA, we strive to provide the highest standard of care with compassion, integrity, and dedication. And so we say thank you, Cayman, for continuing to make us the most awarded organization on island by voting us the best of Cayman Islands in 9 medical categories. Your support reminds us why we do what we do, to serve the Cayman community with kindness and excellence. To find out more about our award-winning services, visit hsa.ky. At HSA, we are committed to caring for you.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
For the record, with ORRETT Connor.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. In the studio with the birthday person today, Dr. Steve McField. I deviated from our original plans this morning once I discovered that it's Dr. McField's birthday, and we're talking, about Dr. McField's journey through life so far. You heard him mention being the owner of the Miss. You said it was the Miss World and Miss Universe pageant.
I had the franchise of Miss World and Miss Universe.
Okay,
yes.
And he mentioned 1986. And folks, for those of you who may not know, the winner of the Miss Cayman contest in 1966 was
86.
86. Sorry, in 1986 was Deborah Cridlin, who represented Georgetown and later competed in the Miss World 1986 pageant. Her married name now is Deborah Bergstrom. We do have a voice note. Let's hear that voice note, Miss Susan.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, God bless you. Happy birthday to you. This is from Donna and family. Happy birthday, Dr. Steve.
Thank you.
Yep, I want to thank that listener for that as well. Any callers on hold? No callers, on hold. Just to deviate very quickly, one of our listeners, actually one of your family members, wanted to know about the lease on the base behind the library that you spoke about. And this was something that I discussed before, and I tried to determine whether or not that lease still exists. I haven't made the call to the one person that I believe may know it. But we did, I think it was one show that you were on with me that Mr. McLean called in and spoke about, about that.
Yeah, Mr. Gilbert
And he had been
McLean.
advised that it was still under lease.
He was advised that it's still under lease. Now, that lease was from 1941. That lease was from 1941 to the American government, by the British government. It was called what they call the Lend-Lease system, where the Americans were providing ammunition, warships, and supplies to the war in England, and England was giving the American bases all over the world, in Bermuda, in Turks and Caicos Island, in British Virgin Island, and all of those places have the same lease. This was after the war. Then when the Americans abandoned the base, they left several buildings. They left a building up at the old North Sound too, and they left the wharf there. The wharf was where the big PBYs would come in to fuel up, and in the North Sound, on the opposite side of where you see Scott's Marina is now, was where they had the fuel depot. And then the old bomb shelter, the old shell house was where they had the bombs, the torpedoes, where the ships
the conch shell house.
The conch shell house,
Okay.
yes. And they had a big house there, which the government used later on as the custom building. When Cayman Airways start flying in there, when we start our own airplanes there, that was the custom building for when goods people came in and exit for people. I have a magazine with Mark Panton going off to school, and one of those planes rests up against the wharf there, just waiting for him to get onto it. So forth.
Wow.
So after the war, nothing could be done about that. They couldn't take that over, and they can't take it over even today. I think that's why the government hasn't built anything on it.
So 99 years would bring it to 2040.
Yeah, around 2040, yes. Yeah, because the lease was 99-year lease. It was called a land lease system. Between now, that lease wouldn't actually be between Cayman Islands government. That would have been the British government and the United States government. That's you would have to go to the archives in England to find a copy of that lease. That's where you would have to find that.
Okay. So getting back to your life story now, Doc, and this is a golden opportunity for us because we get to hear it while you're still with us and hearing it directly from you. So you were on to the fact in terms of in order for you to continue to do your school and to afford it, you had to go. You had to go to sea.
I went to sea.
I think that's where we were at.
I went to see Selkirk Watler and Stanley Douglas and all of the Judson McCoy and all of those people in those days. I spent 3 years out there in the water. I saved my money, and then I went to New York Community College of Applied Arts and Sciences.
Oh, okay.
I spent just more than 2 years there, and then I got a job in a thing called Federal Prosthetics. That was a big lab in Brooklyn, New York. I did a lot of crown and bridge work, and then when I got my that was like apprenticeship. And then when I got my certificate, I came home.
And this was all in the field of dentistry that you were
dentistry.
focusing. Yes,
and then as I got my diploma in what they call dental technology science. Metals, doing metal, be able to do stuff, so forth. When I came home, I applied for a job. I couldn't get a job. I applied for a job. I spent maybe a year and more here trying to find a job, getting a job. They wouldn't hire me at the dental clinic. For some reason, the administrator, Jack Rose, wouldn't hire me. And then
Dr. Marsh was no longer here then?
Dr. Marsh had left before I came back. I went to school in 1957, and I came back in 1960.
Okay.
And Dr. Marsh had already left. Jack Rose wouldn't hire me. The last letter I got from him says, "Consider this correspondence between us closed." That's what he wrote to me, Jack Rose.
Wow.
Dr. Adlin says to me, "Steve, I was sort of a little against Dr. Adlin, and then I realized now and then that Dr. Adlin couldn't hire me because it was the government. I would be working for the government, and it was the commissioner. It was the commissioner administrator who had to hire me in the clinic, not Dr. Adlin, because Dr. Adlin was just an employee himself. Then I wrote to Dr. Marsh, and Dr. Marsh invited me out to Jamaica. Said to me, "I already have someone working for me at Nuttall, but I'll take you on and see what I can do for you." I went there, and I was like a second to his technician over in Nuttall Hospital. I worked at Nuttall Hospital, and when I had gone to Jamaica in the Boy Scout Jamboree, I met a young fellow, and he had come to visit Cayman with me as a teenager when we were all teenagers, and I tried to find him when I got back to Jamaica. And I had this problem. So I heard he was a policeman. I had this problem every time I go down to Sutton Street or the police station and East Street. They would say, "Well, they can't tell me where he is." And then a guy took me one side and says, he would probably be here tomorrow morning. If you come at this particular time, you'll see him. And when I went there that morning, I waited, and he showed up. And I found out he was a chief inspector in the flying squad. The flying squad is those people that go all over. They have no boss. They just come and sign in and they go. And he lived in St. Thomas. And we kindled our friendship. And then he said, St. Thomas doesn't have a dentist. Maybe you should come over here and see what you can do. So every Friday evening after I worked for Dr. Marsh at Nuttall, I packed my dental bag and I went to St. Thomas, and I was a doctor in St. Thomas without any license. I extract teeth. I was doing all this stuff. And And then, of course, I was sort of bossy about it. And there's a place in Jamaica on Orange Street called the Keg. I used to go down there where most of the professionals went to drink and entertain. That time I had a little Hillman Minx convertible. And I remember Denzel Barnes and them would come over there and I would drive them around. And so I was down at the Keg one evening, and there's a family called the Keane brothers, Basil Keane, Irwin Keane, and their father was the one who had the dental supply place where I used to buy supplies from. And he told him about this young gentleman from America who was now a doctor in St. Thomas. So one of the Keynes brothers asked me, he says, are you the guy in doctor in St. Thomas? And I said, yeah. And he says, well, where do you go to school? So I quickly had to sum up all the time that I went to sea and all the time I went to college in New York. Mm-hmm. And I say I went to Howard. And he said, but I went there the same time in the dental school. I didn't see you.
Howard University?
Yeah, Howard in Washington. So then the next couple of weeks, big headline come out in Jamaica says, Jamaica government shutting down quack dentists all over the island.
Wow.
So I got frightened. I went to St. Thomas, collect all the money I could get, was outstanding, put my car on the Cork B, and I fly home. I came home, applied for the job again. I couldn't get a job. Mm-hmm. At that time, Mr. Ormond Panton then was was in the legislature. They had formed the two parties. Mm-hmm. He had left because they had won the election. The National Democrats had won the election.
And they kept him out of government.
Mm-hmm. And he was running for election. And he asked me if I could help him get reelected, and he would try to get me the job after he got reelected.
Okay. Doc, I'm going to interrupt you there, folks. You're hearing it directly from Dr. McField, his life story, and he's giving it all to you, not holding anything back, at all. Don't change that dial. We have more of that coming your way as soon as we return from this short commercial break.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
Hey, new drivers, don't just drive smart. Cynical and Inspire Cayman's Safe Driver program will show you how. Get real-life simulator training and classroom sessions to help you gain experience, stay alert, and avoid accidents. Learn to recognize risk, manage fatigue, and make smart choices behind the wheel. Certified participants may even pay less for Cynical motor insurance. Learn more and register at cynical.ky. Cynical, keeping Cayman covered.
Your dream home starts with a vision, and often inspiration is at the heart of that vision. Brand Source Home Gallery's in-house designers are here to help bring your vision to life. Whether you're remodeling or building a new home, Brand Source Home Gallery is your one-stop solution. Explore their kitchen cabinets, sinks, faucets, bath fixtures, tubs, vanities, and more. Let Brand Source's designers help and inspire you with your next project. Call 623-5000 and schedule an appointment with a design expert at Brand Source Home Gallery, Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park, serving Cayman for 50 years.
For the Record with ORRETT Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. Today is Dr. Steve McField's birthday, and we're getting his life story directly from him this morning as well. Any birthday greetings before then, Miss Susan, that we want to share? I have one here. This person says, Happy birthday, Dr. McField. Wishing you God's richest blessings for the year ahead. And then this
there's
one.
you got that one. There's another one coming. A very special happy birthday to Dr. Steve McField. May you continue to be richly blessed by the Lord. Hope I can meet you soon. This birthday wish is coming from Rose Myrie.
Okay, great. Yep. So, Doc, over to you.
Yeah, so I decided to help Mr. Panton get elected.
Mm-hmm.
So I went around with myself and Edmund Seymour and a few more guys, to urging people to re-elect Mr. Ormond Panton. And I was speaking one night down in Cardinal Avenue where Mr. Ormond had, where the perfume shop is now on the Cardinal Avenue.
Mm-hmm.
There's where he had the ice cream parlor.
And
I was
and
on
where the first Barclays Bank was located.
That's right. I was on fire that night. And I had gotten a job as a bar waiter up at the Beach Club. I was working there part time. Roland Ebanks, who was the bar manager, had got me a job there.
Okay.
Waiting. That's where it was. That's how I was having a few dollars in my pocket. After my tirade that night on the platform, on the porch of Mr. Ormond's parlor, a couple came and spoke to me and said, we're from Canada. And they says to me, we think that we like what you say, but you're a little angry. And so we became friends. I went around with them, took them scuba diving, and took them snorkeling and all that kind of stuff. Myself and a guy called Herbert. I can't remember. It's Herbert Smith. I think he was. He was. And a guy called Eric Edwards, who used to be from Jamaica. Eric Edwards. We hang out.
Mm-hmm.
And then they left. And then they says to me, would you like to come to Canada? Would you like to go to Canada? And I says, well, yeah. And they says to me they had been to St. Lucia and all those places. So I forgot all about that. And about 3 weeks later, poo-poo.
Wilfred Parchment.
Yeah. They said, poo-poo looking for you. And poo-poo come up to Surrey Bush, where we up there on Shaden Road.
Mm-hmm.
And I was hanging out with Cheryl and stuff. And he said, there's a cable for me. They want to see me down at British West Indian Airways office on the town. I went down to BWA's office. And BWA manager told me, he says, there's a cable from Toronto and a ticket.
Wow.
To come to Toronto. The tickets come from these people to come to Toronto. Boy, my world changed then. I scraped up $30. That's all I could find. I grabbed the ticket. I took off, and I went to Miami, got Canadian Airways up. And I remember I was on that flight all that evening, and I was so quiet because I was wondering if this is some sort of hoax. And all I can remember, Mr. For the record, is that the pilot said, anyone who's on the left side of the plane, look down on you, that's passing Niagara Falls.
And then you knew it was for real, huh?
I knew it was for real. And then I went and get into Pearson Airport that evening around 9:00. I fill out my landing form, and I didn't put down the address that I was going to stay because they had written me a letter, several letters, but that was in my suitcase, and I didn't have the address where I was going to stay. And the gentleman said, "You haven't have an address where you're going to stay?" And he says, "I says, do you know?" He said. Then he says to me, "But how much money you got in your pocket?" He says to me, "How much money do you have in your pocket?" And I said, $30, and say, "Out the line." And I said then and there, if they send me back to Cayman, I'm going to commit suicide.
Wow.
That's what I said to me.
I'm going to ask you to hold there so we can grab a caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning.
Hey,
to you.
good morning.
To the honorable and publicly on the airways, want to say a happy birthday to the honorable senior, extra senior, Dr. McField.
Thank you, Lord Graham.
And I am so happy that you didn't commit suicide on that trip.
Yes.
If not, I wouldn't have a real good friend like you. So, listening to your life story, but not anything strange. I've listened to this so many times sitting in your office at night before you leave to go home. So, or if I'm at your house, and I was telling OC the other night, we talked, and I did a snapshot of just before we hang up, and it proved. And when you hang up, we were on the phone for 1 hour and 5 seconds, talking. You know, so I have heard it all, and I really called to say that I appreciate you so much, and I hope that you live for another.
Another 100?
94? You're asking for too much now. I say 94. Another 94 years. You're 100. Yeah. Then you're going to be 194? Yeah, so yeah. I'm so happy that you're on there telling your story, that people will know exactly if they think you're an angry man, or if they have painted you as being an angry man in the past, they will now understand the reason why.
Yeah.
So I just called to say happy birthday to you. And when you get off the radio, if you're not busy, then you can sponsor me to a birthday breakfast.
Thank you. Yes, thank you.
I never say I was sponsoring. Thank you. I never say that. I say you sponsor me to a birthday breakfast.
Yes.
You know, so I'll call you when you get off the radio.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lord Graham. Ms. Susan, we're going to bring it back to you for the commercial break. Folks, please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
My mom's a superhero. She always knows what to do when I feel icky. Yesterday, we went to West Bay Pharmacy, and they had everything she needed. Medicine, my favorite Band-Aids with dinosaurs, and even flavored vitamins. Mom says they keep our family healthy. I think they're magic. Don't tell anyone. I think superhero shop at West Bay Pharmacy. West Bay Pharmacy, where the superheroes shop. West Bay Pharmacy and Centennial Towers. Convenient quality care is just around the corner.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Babe, not tonight. You keep poking me and I need to be rested for meetings tomorrow.
What? I was almost asleep. That's the mattress spring I keep telling you about, not me. We really need to get a new mattress.
Tossing and turning, back hurting, can't sleep? It might be time to turn in your old mattress and go to bed with a new one. Browse the huge mattress showroom at Brand Source Home Gallery and pick the perfect mattress today. With mattresses to suit every budget, Brand Source Home Gallery stocks a wide selection of sizes and styles like pillow top and gel memory foam. So stop tossing and turning and sleep better tonight with a new mattress from Brand Source Home Gallery, Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park.
For the record, with ORRETT Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. My pleasure to have in the studio with me this morning celebrating his birthday, none other than Dr. Steve McField. He's giving us his life story. We left you on a cliffhanger when we were going to the commercial break. As you know, what he mentioned there and what he contemplated, fortunate for us, he didn't have to take that course, as well. We do have a caller. We're going to take the caller first and then go back to Dr. Steve McField so that we can hopefully complete a brief summary of his life story before 10 o'clock. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record. Good morning, caller. Welcome to For the Record. I'm not hearing anyone, Miss Susan. Good morning, caller. Welcome to For the Record.
Morning, Mr. Corner. How are you?
Good morning. Good morning. I'm fine. How are you?
Not too bad. I just got a call from Lord Graham. And I haven't called this show in many, many years, or even this station. This is a surprise.
But you have been on. Yeah, we know.
Yeah, well, we know that.
As guest.
How you been?
I'm good. And yourself? Happy New Year to you and the family.
Happy New Year to you, and same to you, sir. Lord Graham called and said, Sir Marin, our dear friend, great historian, top-class lawyer, Lord Steve birthday was today. So I said, well, I have to call him. I have to call live and wish you, Lord Steve, a beautiful and wonderful birthday today as we celebrate you and the many contribution you have passed on to this country probably in the last 20 years when you were talking for the last 30. And I just want to wish you a wonderful, blessed day. I'm wishing you many birthdays with all of God's blessings, with health and His grace and His love on you.
Thank you, Sir Greg Marion.
So we will catch up soon, okay?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Sir Craig. Okay, Doc. So that cliffhanger that you left us on there.
So, yeah, and he took me out the line. And a man came and got me and took me into this room. And he says to me, are you the kid trying to get into Canada? You don't know where you're going to stay? And all you have is $30 in your pocket? And I said, sir, I know where I'm going to stay, but I don't have the information right here. He said, well, where's the information? I say, it's in probably my suitcase. My suitcase then, people were going out of the airport, and my suitcase was going around in a carousel. And they went and bought my suitcase in, and I opened it and they looked at the address. And then he went to the book because I didn't have their telephone number. And he
those days we had the directories that you could
the directory. And he called them, and he says, "Do you know a young gentleman named Steve McField?" And they say, "Yeah, he's some kind of man." He say, "He's here in Toronto." And they say, "Really? We didn't know when he was coming." And he say to them, "You know, you're going to be responsible for him." He said to you, his friends, and you send him a ticket. I see that it postpaid from Toronto. And they say, yeah. And he wrote me up, and stopped me, and he says to me, I'm going to give you 6 months, he says. And if you need more time, you go downtown to the regional office and you can make an application to get more time. And then he says, welcome to Canada, son.
Wow.
And he shook my hand and he pressed the button. And the doors opened, and I went out with the taxis, and the tears came down my eyes.
Wow.
And I says, I got a second chance in life, and I'm not going to blow it. I got a cab.
You bring it tears to my eye now, Doc.
And I went to the cab, and every time the cab keep looking in the mirror to see me, like, he said, are you really going to Rosedale? And I said, yes, sir. Yes, sir. So when I got out of the cab, this huge homes, these homes, no gates, no fence. I had never seen houses big like that before. The taxi wouldn't leave till I knock on the door and the door opened and the taxi sped off. Well, the people were the Snyders. And Mr. Snyder was an account executive for an advertising agency. And Mrs. Snyder was a professor at the University of Toronto English School. She taught English at university. They had 2 children. one boy 12 and one boy 8.
Mm-hmm.
I lived with them for nearly 3 years.
Wow.
I was responsible for getting the boys' schools, getting the boy clothes on in the morning, making sure that they take their clothes off when they come home in the evening. I did all the grocery shopping. I stayed up with Mrs. Snyder in the night when she was marking papers and make coffee and all that kind of stuff and things like that, and drove them around. I was like a butler. And they told me, we didn't bring you here to work for us. We bring you here to give you a second chance to get to continue your education. They were Mormons also.
Okay.
And they knew a lot of people in the NDP party. And every time the people would come to the house, they would say, listen to what they have to say, because this will help you. Wow. Then I was there. That was from 1963, 64, 65. Yeah, 65. And then 1965, 66, I was taking courses at Atkins University in Don Mills. A lot of people listening will know where Don Mills is. And then Mrs. Snyder says to me one day, we've got you enrolled in 4 universities. You have to decide which one you want to go to. So I could go to Dalhousie. I could have gone to Queen's University, and I saw University of British Columbia, and I saw where the temperature in British Columbia wasn't cold, because Toronto would give me knee problems in the cold. My feet and my fingers would get really bad in the wintertime. And I decided to go to University of British Columbia. So I pack all my stuff up. I got a credit card from the base stores and from Shell gas station, and I drove right across Canada and went out to British Columbia, University of British BC. Before I left to go out to BC, Mr. Snyder sit down and talk to me, and he says to me, don't have any illusions. This is a WAF's country. Well, what's a WAF's country? A white Anglo-Saxon Protestant country.
Yes.
He says, I notice when you're talking to people, you tell them, well, I didn't come from a rich country, a rich family. He said, don't tell people that. They don't want to know. They're not going to help you. If they find you're poor, they're not going to help you. And he says, as a black man, when you come through that door, they don't know what you know inside, and they don't really care. He said, so it's 90% tailoring and 10% public relations. Always looked immaculate. The first impression, he said, you can. The second impression they will not do. I always had a blazer on, a tie, and always sharp, clothes shine. And when I went out to University of British Columbia, my car was one of those convertibles, Corvairs. Remember, the Americans had bought them to
that was the one that were considered unsafe at any speed.
With the engine in the back.
Yes.
And so I went and I found the first thing I did when I went to UBC, I got a job on the UBC newspaper, and I had a column every Friday. I would prepare my column and had it every Friday with my picture in the newspaper. I'm driving out the university, and all these ladies on the road hitchhiking, and my car was red, and there's a girl with a red raincoat, and I stopped and picked her up.
Matched the car, right?
Yes.
Color the car.
And then I drove her to her boarding house. I found she was boarding, and she was from Kelowna. And she was boarding, and next day I saw her and I picked her up again. And then I told her when I got her to a boarding house, I said, if you want to drive with me permanently, my car's in Lot D. I say my classes are finished 3:30, sometime 4 o'clock. And when I got there, I saw her waiting by the car. And I drove her home. Her father was Alan Purley. He was the manager for the largest Royal Bank in British Columbia, but he had just come to the bank from Kelowna, and they still her brother and her was at university. Rick Dr. Rick. He became Dr. Rick Perley. He is a astronomer with the American Space Program in Socorro, New Mexico.
Wow.
And she had two other young brothers. Now they're all bank managers too. So after a while, she lived in his house. One of the women she lived in the house was the Celesta BC's general's daughter. So after maybe 6 months, she was start coming sleeping with me at the base my little basement apartment, and then she told me one day her father needs to speak to me.
Mm-hmm.
I say, where? She said, at the bank. He needs you to come to speak to him. Her brother had told her his father, Joanne is sleeping with this black guy from the university. And she said he wanted to speak to you. And of course, my feathers got ruffled right away. I thought because I'm black and she's white, that, that's not prohibited. That's prohibited. So I went to see him. This huge bank. I said, God, where the hell am I? So I waited there a few minutes, and the girl came up and says, Alan Perley, so you can come in now. And when I went in, he was in his big old office and so forth, and his secretary there and so forth. And he said, you Steve McField? And I said, yes, sir. And he says to me, I heard that you're a pretty smart kid. And I said, well, a lot of people think so, sir. And he says, I hear you want to be an attorney, a lawyer. You're studying law. And I said, yes, sir. And then he says, you probably wonder why I call you here. And I say, yes, sir. And then he starts telling me about his family, his wife, Audrey. And then he says, no women in my family ever slept with men before they got married. And if my daughter is good enough to sleep with, she's good enough to be married to.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, I'm going to ask her to invite you out to the house this weekend. Audrey's coming in town. We just bought a new house in Vancouver, in Shaughnessy, a place called Shaughnessy. And I'm going to, you can come over there. I went to that house that weekend. And the woman who became my wife, mother, liked me right away. We start talking about Canadian history and so forth. She says, you know more about Canada than I do. And, you most about all of the leaders in Canada and so forth and so forth and so forth. And then the boys were all going in high school then, all the two young boys. Mm-hmm. And they would want to go to the football game because, as a bank manager, he got tickets to everywhere and everywhere. Mm-hmm. And he says, you can go, but only Steve can drive my car.
Wow.
I was like a favorite. So I tell you one incident. So they had a white dog called Sammy, what they call an Alaskan Samoyed, those like wolf dog, and I had to walk him in the evening. So when I'm walking this dog in this rich neighborhood now, up on Granville and Ford, 1st and 42nd Street, I see the shadows going up, so forth, the showing up, going up, and then I would drive my girl, my wife. We got married at the house. Mm-hmm. I would drive her to a place called Arbutus Club. The country club where all the bank managers and things
have membership
and so things, and I would my top down, and I had a buffalo would make noise, and I would it's sort of roundabout. You would come in and go out, and people say, "Who the hell is he?" And they would say, "That's Alan Perley's son-in-law." So I was lucky. I could get a job every summer. My father-in-law pick up the phone and say, my son-in-law needs a job. Macmillan, Blodell, all of those people would say, Alan, you send your son-in-law out here to work this summer? That's the family I got married into.
Wow.
No, nobody knew anything about me. I had been gone about 8 to 10 years then. Nobody knew anything about where I was.
In Cayman.
Wow. And then after I got married, my wife said to me, Steve, you have a family? You never talk about anything about your family.
Wow.
And I start telling her about what happened to me in Cayman. And then she says, I'm going to come there. We're going to come and see your family. When I got off the flight that day, nobody knew I was coming. When I saw my mother, she was old and gray. and so forth. She heard I was in New York. Somebody had seen me in New York. I think I saw him in New York. They heard I had got killed. And then I came, and Jim Bodden found that I was a lawyer, and asked me if I would take the clerk of the court's job. And I took the clerk of the court's job, and from then I got recruited by the government.
Okay. Going to interrupt you there, Doc. We're going to go to a commercial break. We have a couple of callers. So please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
Hey, new drivers, don't just drive, drive smart. Cynical and Inspire Cayman's Safe Driver program will show you how. Get real-life simulator training and classroom sessions to help you gain experience, stay alert, and avoid accidents. Learn to recognize risk, manage fatigue, and make smart choices behind the wheel. Certified participants may even pay less for Cynical motor insurance. Learn more and register at cynical.ky. Cynical, keeping Cayman covered.
There you go, sir. Thanks for choosing JN Money Transfer.
Boy, thanks to JN Money Transfer, I can stay right here in Cayman and pay mama bills back home in Jamaica. Her water, light, phone, and other bills never late. Every month I pay everything in one place.
Make payments to over 30 companies in Jamaica through JN Money Transfer. Fast, affordable, convenient. Call 1-800-744-1163 for details.
My mom's a superhero. She always knows what to do when I feel icky. Yesterday, we went to West Bay Pharmacy, and they had everything she needed. Medicine, my favorite band-aids with dinosaurs, and even flavored vitamins. Mom says they keep our family healthy. I think they're magic. But don't tell anyone. I think superhero shop at West Bay Pharmacy. West Bay Pharmacy, where the superheroes shop. West Bay Pharmacy and Centennial Towers. Convenient quality care is just around the corner.
For the Record with ORRETT Connor.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. Unfortunately, we're on the last leg of the show this morning, getting the life story of Dr. Steve McField. Today, of course, is his birthday. We have two callers, one on the WhatsApp and one on the landline. We will take those callers before we go back to Dr. Steve McField. Meanwhile, one of our listeners has written and said, "Good morning, OC. Please wish Dr. Steve a very happy birthday, and may God continue to bless him and keep him. He is surely a hero in these Cayman Islands." I remember when I got Dr. Steve maybe about 15 years ago to speak about his life's story at Cayman Academy, which is the Adventist school. Some of the children were in tears when they heard his story. I will forever be grateful to Dr. Steve for what he has done for these islands. Let's go to our phone call, our landline caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Mr. Connor.
Good morning, ma'am.
And good morning to Dr. Steve.
Good morning, ma'am.
I really called just to wish you happy birthday.
Thank you.
I was so intrigued with listening to you. That's why it took me so long to call. And I really hated to interrupt you, but I'm going to ask you if you would promise us that you will come back one day and maybe another couple of days and, tell your story.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And also, I'm going to beg you to come back and finish the conversation that you and Mr. Connor were having on Friday, I think it was. About
Friday.
Yes, because I was very much tuned into that as well. So I just want to say to you, Dr. Steve, that your story needs to be told. Mm-hmm. And I really, really hope that it will help those who have their heads in the sand to understand what is happening until today.
Yeah. So, ma'am,
your story is a lesson.
Let me tell you about your dad. When I came back the second time from, he says to me, McField, he says, "Are you qualified this time?" because because they heard I was a dentist in St. Thomas without a license. And he says to me, he said, we have to investigate to see if you're qualified this time. This time. Yeah, and he was my friend. He was my friend. I remember working with him when I was prosecuting.
Mm-hmm. And also, just to throw this tidbit in, he looked up to you very much, and you will remember that he was so instrumental in having Northwood Prison built.
That's right.
And he took you, he selected you to
That's
go.
right.
I think you were in charge of that commission.
That's right, and the boys' home, and the Bonaventure boys' home too.
That's right, and also what is called hazard management today.
Yeah.
You know, people don't know this. You know, they don't know these things about him. It's never told. But anyway, I'm sure as you continue to talk about your life, you will include all of the people that you
influenced him, impacted
along the way.
Thank you.
And I just want to say to you, Dr. Steve, I have already labeled you. You are not. You are an unsung hero to me. You are a national treasure, and you are iconic.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank
and
you.
may God continue to bless you.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to take the WhatsApp caller now, Miss Susan. Then we'll have to close the phone lines off, and of course we're going to have to continue this. Hopefully this week as well. Not sure, but we'll try to work something in. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. O'Connor.
Morning. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Dr. Steve. Happy birthday too.
Good morning, sir. Thank you very much.
Yeah, man. I have a question. Is the British government allowed to come to the Cayman Islands and force our young men into a war that we do not agree with as a British overseas territory?
Well, they have never, ever done that. In the First War, in the Second World War, they have never done that before. But they have asked us to join. And a lot of Caymanians, even some of my family were in the First World War and the Second World War. They decided to go. A lot of people from prominent Caymanian families went and joined the RAF and the Merchant Marines and the Army and so forth. But I don't think that they would do that to a colony.
Mm-hmm. They were never conscripted.
Never conscripted colony.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, want to thank that caller for that. So, Doc, what people don't realize is that in the 50s and in the 60s, the quality of tourists that we had coming to the Cayman Islands, but also the contact between Caymanians and those tourists, and especially the Canadian tourists, they were extremely generous, not condescending, in any way. And there are several Canadian families that sponsored Caymanian children to go off to Canada. Some, I believe, even adopted Caymanian children, to go over to Canada, as well.
Just let me just give you one incident.
Sure.
My ex-father-in-law was the banker for the McLeans. The McLeans were the ones who bought the Galleon Beach and who built Villas of the Galleons. So when my family from Canada came down, I would go down there with them and hang around. I went down there one time with my children, with my young brother-in-laws, and the McLean manager that was there didn't like to see me on the premises. I could see by his whole attitude. And then he sent another gentleman to ask me one day, and he came out there, and we were playing the tennis court. And he says, "Are you a guest?" And I says, "No, I'm not a guest, but we have permission to use the facilities." And he says to me, "Well, I'm sorry, but I have been told that you are not allowed to come here to use the facility because you're not a guest. So my father-in-law heard about it, and he asked about it, and then he said, we're not going to get into problems with them. My father-in-law and I built a swimming pool, a tennis court at my premises. My wife used to be an Olympic swimmer. And we built a swimming pool, Olympic-sized swimming pool at my house.
Wow.
That is the largest private swimming pool in Cayman Islands, stopped it today. And he said, you don't have to go down there to be insulted by anyone from now on. That's the kind of family that I got married into. Of course, that went viral all over Cayman. And unfortunately, they made it so hard for me to exist. After I was recruited by the government to go to London to do the bar exams. Because the government didn't want me to go to Canada to do the bar exams. They wanted me to go. So Mr. Rich and I went to England to do the bar exams together. And when I came back, I couldn't get a job again. It took me 6 weeks to get an appointment, to get appointed as Crown Counsel by Mr. Russell. Jim Borden went to Mr. Russell and said, what's going on? We can't let this continue. And when I came to the glass house, it was Mr. Seymour Panton, Mr. David Rich, and Mr. Barwick was the Attorney General, and Mr. Donaldson was the legal draftsman.
David Barwick.
David Barwick.
Yeah.
I was on the third floor, and I remember the Attorney General saying to me, but they didn't tell me that they had a student out studying law. They didn't tell me. I didn't know anything about it. Now, at the same time, they had a advertisement in London for an assistant attorney general.
Wow.
So we got together and said, why don't they give that to Mr. Seymour Panton, and then promote David and I. David and I was superannuated Crown Counsels. We were never permanent.
Well, I'm going to interrupt you there, Doc, because that was one of the things that the Cayman Islands government and our Caymanian people did to us. Was they nickel and dimed us. When I applied, I returned to the Cayman Islands with a bachelor and a master's degree. At that time in 1983, there were not a whole lot of Caymanians with master's degree. I had a master's degree in international relations and a bachelor's degree in political science. I applied for the deputy chief immigration job. You know what they offered me at the end of the day? They created a supernumerary position for me as an assistant chief immigration officer. They didn't have any vacancies as an assistant chief immigration officer, but they created a supernumerary position for me. So our own people nickel and dimed us.
And I had a degree in political science, history and political science. I had a law degree and a barrister's degree. And I was making less than what I was making as clerk of the courts. I was making, the secretary in the office was making more than me. They never gave me an office to work in. I was working at a library. I mean, Nate Miller was saying to me, I don't understand why they don't allow me to find an office for you. Mr. Donaldson was going on pre-retirement holiday, and he says, I'm locking my office up for 10 weeks, and I don't want McField sitting in my office.
Wow. Yeah. Well, Doc, we have reached that time. We have to arrange to continue this discussion as early as possible so that everything will remain fresh in our listeners' minds as well. And we know, like we heard from the one of our callers, want us to continue this discussion as well, and then also to talk more about the advisory district councils and the
Yes.
legislation there as well. I want to thank you. I want to say to you, enjoy your very, very special day today. People of the Cayman Islands, I think that they are finally realizing, what you bring to the table, what you have to offer. They now understand the trials and tribulations that you experience, and people now need to understand why your position, as far as advocating for Caymanians and protections, where that drive comes from, because you have been through all of it, Doc.
Thank you. And I'm going to go home now. I'm not going to go back to the office. Today's my birthday. Today's my birthday. I'm going to go home and relax.
Yes. Thank you very much, folks. I want to thank all of you who contributed this morning, all of your well wishes. Happy birthday greetings to Dr. Steve McField as well. This was not planned. We were going to talk about other things, this morning, but I'm actually glad that we went down this road, and we're going to continue to do so as well. Don't forget, we are our brothers and our sisters' keepers.
For the Record, proudly brought to you by
Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury. Doctors Hospital, peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066. And Cayman Airways, call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. Kirk Market, experience a world of choice. JN Money, from abroad to Yad. And Seneca